Good morning. My name is Sean Scanlon. I'm honored to be the state representative for part of the town of Guilford, and I'm also honored to be the MC for this morning's festivities. Thank you all for coming. It's great to see so many folks here for such an important day in our town. To the citizens of Guilford, welcome. To the distinguished guests, who I'll introduce in a few minutes, welcome. And we will get started in a moment. I just want to say that one of the most important occasions in our democracy is the peaceful transfer of power. It's something that we learn from a young age in school and then see practice throughout our lives. And we're going to see practice here again today. And I think it's important for all of us to recognize just how special that is and how special that makes our country and therefore our town and our state. No matter what party you are in, today we are all going to join together to say thank you and goodbye to one First Selectman and welcome and good luck to another. And so I hope you'll join me in right now giving a round of applause for our two gentlemen that we're going to recognize today. I would now like to bring up Detective Sergeant Kurt Fazzulo, who's going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. Detective Sergeant Fazzulo served in the United States Army in Iraq from 2007 to 2008. Please join me and welcome Detective Sergeant Kurt Fazzulo.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Next up, we will have the national anthem sung by Guilford High School Voices. Although I am an alum of Guilford Voices, I will not be singing this morning. So. One more round of applause for Guilford Voices as they exit. You're welcome. As Guilford Voices leaves, I hope you'll join me in welcoming some special dignitaries and guests that we have here assembled this morning. First and foremost, to our Lieutenant Governor, Nancy Wyman. Our State Comptroller, Kevin Lembo. Our State Senator, Ted Kennedy, Jr. And State Representative Vinnie Candelora. Also want to recognize our new and current chair of the Board of Finance, Mike Ailes. Our chair of the Board of Education, Bill Bloss. A special round of applause deserved to our departing Board of Selectmen members, former First Selectman Carl Balistraci, Selectman Gary McElney, and Selectwoman Cynthia Cartier. Of course, the last person that I would ask you to join me in thanking, and perhaps the biggest thanks of all, is to our retiring First Selectman, Joe Mazza. I said this at his retirement party the other day, but it truly has been a pleasure for me as a state representative for Guilford to work very closely with Joe. And I feel very comfortable saying here to this crowd that we may be from different parties, but the different parties never came up once, because with Joe, it was always about serving this community and doing the right thing for the people of Guilford, and he did it for 8 years. So thank you again, Joe, for everything you did for our town. I now want to welcome our State Comptroller, Kevin Lembo, to give some remarks.
Good morning. So it's a great day in Guilford. Joe, thank you. I want to add my voice to those in this room. Amazing job in a very difficult position. And Matt, get ready. I've often said that one of the most difficult jobs in government is the first selectman or the mayor. Not only because you have a broad portfolio of issues that you need to work on, but every day at church, in the supermarket, wherever you find yourself, you come in contact with your constituents. There is little bureaucracy to hide behind. So thank you, not only to these great gentlemen, but to everyone who stepped up to serve this great community, a community that I call home, though sometimes I feel like I just sleep here. It is my pleasure to introduce, for purposes of administering the oath, our great Lieutenant Governor, Nancy Wyman, a friend of mine, and a great friend to the town of Guilford. Lieutenant Governor.
Thank you. I, too, want to say thank you to Joe. Even marching in parades, you let me walk with you. That's pretty good. Now, certain times, that doesn't always happen in towns. But, Joe, thank you for your service. And to all of you that are no longer serving, thank you for volunteering your time, being out there all the time. As Kevin said, local government is the toughest. I always thought that being on the Board of Education was the toughest job that I ever had. And that's why I kept moving away from it. But it truly is an honor for me to be here today. When Matt called to ask if I would do the swearing in, I went, wow, this is great. So I got up at 2 o'clock this morning to... No, but it really is a special day. It really is. As Sean said, you know, when we take office, and we know that it is exciting, but we also know that we go forward to making sure that we do the work that we have to do. And as Kevin says, you can't go anyplace else. You have to stay in town. So Kevin and I can go to any town we want now. And if they don't like me in one, I go to another one. That's all. But the difficulty that goes on in local towns is very, very hard now, because not only is there the federal or state governments around, but you are the first in line. And so I thank you for doing this, and I'm getting the honor to also swear in the Board of Selectmen and, of course, Matt afterwards. So what I would ask if the Board of Selectmen will come up and join me now. There you go. Everybody's really ready to do this, right? Your last chance. Okay, good. So I'd ask you to raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Connecticut, so long as you continue a citizen thereof, and that you will faithfully discharge, according to the law, the duties of the office of Selectman and Selectwoman to the best of your ability, so help you God?
I will.
You got it. Congratulations. Oh, good. They didn't back out on us. That's good. Okay, Matt. Come on up. What was that thing? Come on down. Constitution of the State of Connecticut, so long as you continue a citizen thereof, and that you will faithfully discharge, according to law, the duties of the office of First Selectman to the best of your abilities, so help you God.
I will.
You better.
I look around this room, I see friends, I see family, I see fellow citizens. I am honored and humbled that you have given me this opportunity to continue to serve you. It is my dearest hope that I live up to the expectations that you have entrusted in me, as well as the other members of the Board of Selectmen. We will endeavor to do the very best we can. Before I get into a couple other remarks, hopefully brief, there are some thank yous in order. Most immediately, thank you to the Guilford High School, the Voices. That is the evidence of the talents and the capacity to instill greatness in our children. Look around this room. We have all been a part of giving those children the opportunity to display their talents and to live up to their fullest abilities. So one more round for the Voices and the Guilford High School. I apologize in advance if I forget to thank somebody. I should thank everybody in this room individually because you have all been so supportive of me. But Nancy, thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come down and be with us today. You have been a long-time supporter of Guilford and of me, and I will forever be grateful for the service that you have given to this state. You mentioned earlier you started at the local level like the rest of us, Board of Education, state representative, comptroller, and finishing your career as lieutenant governor. I couldn't be prouder than to call you my friend, as well as someone who has served on my behalf for many, many years. Thank you. This got easier than I thought because they put them all in a row. Kevin, my friend, we've been doing some of this stuff for a number of years in this community. I'm also proud of the work you've done on behalf of all of us. As Connecticut's citizen advocate up in Hartford in the role of comptroller, we're proud that you call Guilford home, and we're proud of the work you continue to do for us. Thank you for being here today as well. Senator Kennedy. Ted Kennedy, thank you very much for all you do for both Guilford and the entire district. Your service is exemplary. It's in your genes, I know that, but we continue to rely on you to help the state make sure Guilford stays intact. Thank you very much. And Vin Candelora, thank you for all you do as well. You and I don't know each other as well as I am going to get to know you, or you me, but serving North Guilford over these years, it's been a number of years now, as well as your hometown of North Branford. Thank you for all you do, and I look forward to working with you as well. Sean, what can I say? Thank you very much for agreeing to do this. In short order, you've made a dramatic mark up in Hartford, which has resulted in Guilford's benefit. I think I see Joe nodding his head right there. You have done great work, and I know between you, Ted, and Vin, we're in good hands in terms of representation up in Hartford. So thank you for all you do as well. Last Wednesday night was an example of what this community is all about, in as much as what we are doing here today is. It was Joe Mazza's retirement dinner, and politics was not the theme. Joe Mazza's 24-year record of exemplary commitment to his community, serving on the Board of Finance, the Board of Selectmen, and as first selectman, it was, for lack of a better term, it was a love fest. It really was. It really was. But what it represented was the way this community feels about you. You have done a tremendous job for this community, but more importantly, you have been a confidant, a mentor, and my friend. Thank you for that, and may you and Jean have a wonderful retirement. I know some of you are out there thinking I should have said family first, but this is my opportunity. To my wonderful, beautiful, and supportive wife, Cheryl, thank you for having given me the opportunity over all these years to serve this community, taking time away from our family on many occasions. Your support has got me to this point today, and I know it's going to continue. Thank you. I love you. To my children who are spread around the continental United States and unfortunately couldn't be here, I'd like to thank them as well, because they sacrifice as well. Dad, you have another meeting to go to? Do we have to eat McDonald's again because you don't have time? But what I always tried to do with my children, Cheryl and I did, was instill in them a sense of community and a sense of you owe something to your community. And I hope the example I've led resonates in them as they go forward in their life. So in absentia, thank you to my children. Just in case you couldn't recognize the resemblance, 3 of my brothers are here today. My brother Bill, my brother Dave, and my brother Dan, who have been so supportive of my activities over the years, but more importantly, have given me the love that a family can only give to each other. Thank you for all you've done for me and always being there, and I'm so proud that we're all together here today. I have one other brother who's in Wisconsin, and he's in the public service arena as well. He is a staffer in the Wisconsin State Legislature for a state senator, and he would love to have been here, but he had a little work to do, so he's not able to make it here today. Also with us today is my Aunt Amy. My Aunt Amy is my father's only sister. She has had a storied career as a Sister of Mercy, but more importantly, she's always been a rock to myself and my brothers. She has always reaffirmed the commitment of family, of love, peace, and passion. So, Aunt, thank you very much for being here today. Many of you who know me may have met my dad. My mother and father, my mother passed away many years ago while we were all young. But my mother and father were the ones that instilled in me and the rest of us the importance of giving back to your community. Some folks who have been at some of the campaign events over the last few months are probably sick and tired of hearing this, but I got some nods already from Carl. I know he knows what's coming. My parents grew up in what I always refer to as a Kennedy-era Democratic household. And forget big D, little d. They were Bostonites. When JFK became president, they were so thrilled. But more importantly, they took to heart the words that he used at his inauguration. It is not what your country can do for you, it is what you can do for your country. I think we've got an application right here in Guilford, and I know I look around the room and I see a lot of people who think the same way. My dad was also a longtime civic engagement person. He was on every board in Old Saybrook, from the Park and Rec Commission through the First Selectman, including stops at the Board of Education and the Board of Finance. His best piece of advice he gave me was, stay away from the Board of Education. They have too many meetings. But to him, I owe a great debt of gratitude. He set the example. He showed me the path. And he and my mother, I know, are proud of what they see today. So thank you. I'm looking forward to working with a very talented team. Sandy Ruoff, Lou Federici, Sue Renner, and the only holdover from the old board, the guy we're going to have to go to for the historical knowledge, Charlie Haverda. Congratulations to the 4 of you. I look forward to working with you to continue to make Guilford a wonderful place. Sometimes it's always tough to go last because some kudos have already been given out. Carl Balistraci, as the former First Selectman, longtime volunteer in his community. And for those who don't know it, the state publishes the Blue Book every year, and it lists all the elected and appointed positions in each community. I have one from 1973. Carl's name is in that book. Thank you, Carl. Also, thank you to Gary McKelney, who served the last 8 years on the Board of Selectmen and done an outstanding job. And we appreciate your services. And this is Gary. Gary said to me, Matt, I'm not done. Let me know what you need me to do. Let me know what help I can give you. Gary, thank you for that offer. And I will take you up on it. Lastly, outgoing first Selectwoman, first Board of Selectwoman, Cindy Cartier, thank you. I don't think you're here, she's here, but thank you, Cindy, for your years of service to this community. I'm also looking around the room and I see Alan Myers in the back, who served, 12 years, I think, on the Board of Education, who retired recently. Alan, thank you for your service as well. And I think I saw Chris Moore somewhere in the back as well. Chris was a member of the Board of Education for, I believe, 8 years, and he decided to step down from that position. Chris, thank you for your service as well. Okay. I don't think it's a surprise to anybody to hear me say Guilford is a wonderful community. It is a place that I am so proud to call home. We are financially sound. We have exceptional services. We reward talent. You saw the voices up here. Moving forward, I pledge to preserve what we have, what has been built, and what people expect of their elected leaders. We will continue to scrutinize expenses and look for efficiencies wherever possible. We will protect and preserve the things we have built. We have the 6th ranked school district in the state of Connecticut. That doesn't happen by accident. That happens with talented individuals who are given tools to produce the very best product they can. We have an exceptional public safety program in this town between our police and fire departments. Our recreational opportunities are extensive, and we have been stewards of our community in preserving open space over the years. We will continue to make those a priority. Neither myself or the board can do this alone. This is a community that's built on volunteerism. It's what really makes the town run. With a show of hands, could someone put their hands up? Anybody who has been in an elected capacity or served on an appointed board or worked on behalf of a Guilford nonprofit, please raise their hand. Look around the room. These are your neighbors. These are the people who commit to making this the place it is. Thank you for all you have done. It is also the dedicated staff, the town employees. Behind the scenes, it's not the elected officials. It is, we come and go. Joe's on his way out. I'll be on my way out at some point. But it's the town employees who really make things happen. We have a dedicated staff. We have a talented staff. And I think it's going to be my job to clear the hurdles, to make it easier for them to do their job and provide you with the services that you expect. So, a round of applause for Guilford's employees, all of them. Together, the Board of Selectmen, the town employees, the Board of Education, the Board of Finance, we will continue to set an example of fiscal responsibility while providing exceptional customer service. We will focus on making sure that people's experience when they interact with their government will be a pleasant experience. I've been amazed over the last 3 weeks at the number of people who have come up to me and said, "How can I help?" There will be ways. I've been keeping a log. You will be asked. You will be asked. You'll be asked to serve because this community is rife with talents that most people take for granted. It's because that's what they do, that's what they know, and they're not always aware that there may be a way for us to take advantage of those talents. I consider that to be a significant challenge of mine, which is to engage a new generation or a new group of people to provide Guilford with the benefit of their skills, their talents, and their passion for their community. I also intend to set an example, set a tone of leading by example, of being more inclusive, more compassionate, and listening to what people have to say. My mother used to tell us, God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use them in that proportion. In addition to the words of John F. Kennedy, I am fond of another quote from a presidential inauguration. Thomas Jefferson in 1801, and Sean, you stole my thunder a little bit. In the 1800s saw the end of a very contentious period in American history around the transfer of power. Jefferson had the following quote: "Every difference of opinion is not a difference of principle." This is my quote. Rest assured that we will have conflicting opinions, but we must rely on our shared democratic, with a small d, democratic principles of inclusiveness, compassion, fairness, to resolve those differences of opinion. It is my pledge to work in that spirit on your behalf for the next 4 years. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Matt. That concludes the formal portion of our ceremony. There are refreshments in the back. Matt's obviously got a job to do. It's his first day at work. So we're not going to keep him too long, but please stay around, say hello to him, the rest of the Board of Selectmen, and please join me one last time in wishing all of them the best of luck on behalf of our community.